begin, we'll ask Coach Smart for some general thoughts on the game, and then we'll go to your questions. I'll call on you. Coach?
I would open with what a tremendous night, and the weather held off for the honoring of the first five black football players to play at the University of Georgia. They came over and spoke to our team on Thursday. I thought they did a tremendous job. What a tremendous honor to have them and host them. And Courtney did an unbelievable job hosting them, and she has done an incredible job with our diversity, equity, inclusion. So I'm really proud of what they were able to do and what we've got as part of our stadium for a long time. I also like to thank David Pollock. Saw he got honored for the College Football Hall of Fame. What a tremendous honor for him. And then our fan base. Our fan base came out loud and proud. They didn't take a week off. I think our student section has become very impactful from pregame warm-ups all the way through the game. Thought the guys played really hard. So many guys played a big role in this game. It seemed like the wealth was spread around defensively and offensively. I thought JT played with a high level of confidence, believed in what our guys around him could do, and he got the ball to our playmakers. Did a great job doing that. Pod is a great kicker. It was great to get him back on track there late in the second half. And just proud of the hard work our guys have put in. We got to get better, and we're not where we need to be. We didn't play as well defensively tonight as we have in the past, and we'll continue to improve.
Okay, let's go to Chip Towers and then Seth Emerson.
Coach, you mentioned it for a minute, but just the end of the first half seemed really critical for things. Getting a safety out of that and then coming back down and getting the field goal. Can you just talk about taking advantage of those last 24 seconds?
Yeah, situational football is critical, and we rep those exact situations every Thursday. And man, I was really proud of the execution. Number one, they stopped us, which can't happen. We can't not have an opportunity. And he took the timeout, which told me that he was going to try to use the clock and not let it run out. Amir Speed and Jake Camarda started that whole thing with down in the ball inside the one, which is just elite. We practiced that really hard all camp. So Amir made a huge play. Jake made a huge play. And then the defense made a huge play. Then the special teams made a big play. And then we were able to save our timeouts. And it was really big to get those pass plays to set up the field goal. I just thought that was a really good sequence to steal 5 points.
Kirby, on offense, how much of it is that you're taking what the defense gives you? How much of it is that the passing game is just better than the running game for you guys right now?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's definitely that. It's not we're taking what they give us. I think we're just better right now. Timing, throwing the ball, spacing in routes. And I actually thought we ran the ball better tonight. I mean, I don't know. We rushed for 184. It didn't seem like a struggle to run it as much as it did against UAB. So statistically, I was proud of our ability to run the ball. I thought our backs made some people miss. So I'm not down on the run game tonight. I thought we improved there. But I do think the timing in the passing game and our guys are pretty good pass pro guys. But if we're going to be an elite team, you got to be able to be pretty good at both. I mean, there's a few teams, LSU, they never had to run it 2 years ago. And I feel like they threw it a lot and didn't have to run it. But we got to continue to improve, and we got to get guys healthy.
Okay, let's go to Anthony Dasher and then Mark Weiser.
Hey, Coach, congratulations. Obviously, Stetson came in on the third possession. Was that just a deal going in where you plan to play both guys?
Yeah, to be honest with you, JT was not 100% all week, and he practiced all week, but he didn't necessarily go with the ones the whole time. We didn't know if he was going to be able to go on Monday, and we thought Stetson really practiced well, and he and JT rolled all week, and we told him, I guess it was Thursday or Friday, and we called him in and said, hey, look, you're both going to play, and we think JT's healthy enough to go, but we're going to play you, Stetson. And it's an unfortunate deal. Brock's route was a little shallow, and he probably shouldn't have thrown it there, and he threw it a little high, sailed on him, and got it picked. So it's unfortunate for Stetson, but he did have a good week of practice. And I've said it all along, and I continue to say it and stand by it. I have a lot of confidence in our quarterbacks, a lot of confidence in our quarterbacks. I can't say that I've ever had as much confidence in 3 to 4 guys that I've ever had. So Stetson earned that right, and it just didn't work out.
Kirby, you're talking about guys getting contributions from so many different guys on defense in particular. Nolan had combined with the safety, and then forced the fumble. Can you talk about his game now, 3 games into the season, how he's developing, Nolan Smith?
He's a great leader, one of the hardest workers. I'll reserve judgment how he played just off those 2 plays until I see the tape. But he is a extra effort, get after it, positive leader. He impacts the game. I mean, tonight, those 2 plays, that sack fumble and the safety were humongous plays in the game.
Let's go Dean Legge and then Jake Rowe.
Hey, Kirby, how about y'all's pass rush? How much do you think that's affecting quarterbacks these days?
I guess you'd have to ask them. I don't a lot, I would think, but our guys get off and pass rush, and there's a lot of detail that goes into that, like the amount of time Trey Scott and Schumann and Dan, all the defensive guys spend on creating rush, right? Creating, it's not just one-on-one, I beat my guy. It's games, it's twists, it's stunts. It's knowing when it's a pass, when it's a run, when I can take advantage of things. There's a lot of things our linebackers call to our front to get them in pass rush mode. And when they're in pass rush mode, they're pretty good. So I know it affects quarterbacks. But I thought, Luke did a great job. He's a really good athlete. He moved around. He made some plays with his feet. He bought time. He hurt us with some throws.
Kirby, I know there's a big difference between being pleased and being satisfied. And I guess I just would like to ask you, it seemed like the game got a little sloppy there, it sounds, for you guys. What would kind of cause this in this game for you to be a little bit short of satisfied from an overall performance?
Just execution of players. There's things you work on during the week, and there's things that they just beat you sometimes. Like you get beat one-on-one. I'm not going to lose my sleep over that. They threw some one-on-one balls and beat us. But you don't execute when a coach tells you what play's coming on third down, and you show them the play and say they're about to run this, and then they run it, and you don't stop it. That's disheartening. On offense, when you turn the ball over 3 times, we will not be a successful team if we turn the ball over 3 times. I don't care if we get 3. We can't throw 2 interceptions and fumble 1 and beat good football teams. So that's a fact. That's not like that will keep me from being satisfied or pleased.
Let's go to Connor Riley and then to Catherine with the red and black.
Hey, Kirby, you got Brock Bowers and Adonai Mitchell involved early tonight. What does it say about them that as freshmen, they're already at this point 3 games into their careers making major contributions for you at this point in the year?
It's the way of college football now. A lot of good players leave junior years. A lot of freshmen come in early. Both those guys really aren't freshmen. They were here all spring. So I look at it very different. They got a lot of confidence in the spring. They got routes. We practice really hard. They go against a really good defense every day. So A.D. Mitchell and Brock have competed at a high level, and they've earned that right. A great man and good friend who passed last week used to always say to me, if you're good enough, you're old enough. And that's compliments of my man Trevor Moad, who lost his battle with cancer and meant so much to me personally and meant a lot to a lot of coaches. But I spent a year at Miami, 9 at Alabama, and 4 or 5 at Georgia with Trevor, and he just touches my heart and soul to think about the lives he touched. And that was something he used to say all the time, if they're good enough, they're old enough, and they are.
Hey, Coach, kind of going off of that last question with Adonai Mitchell, I wanted to ask you what he did in practice this week that made you think he deserved a starting position today.
Well, he's talented. He's learning how to work. He's, it's very similar to Jermaine Burton. Jermaine Burton was a talented receiver last year that we felt like would get better the more he played. And, AD's got a lot of parts of his game to work on. Physicality, but he does run routes. He does have elusiveness, and he has really good first step quickness. And our coaches felt like if we're going to go to where we want to get to, he's got to go play. and he's earned it. I mean, he's made plays. He's a good football player, and as he earns that, he makes our team better. And I got to say that Marcus Rosemy and Justin Robinson and a lot of those other guys, Lab McConkey and Jalen Johnson, they have done really critical good work, and they've gotten better. Marcus caught a ball tonight and burst and got down the field, but AD has improved a lot too. And as long as those guys are healthy and getting better, we got a chance to be a successful team.
Okay, let's go to Jeff Schultz and then Brandon Sudge.
Kirby, I know you're focused on your team, but as everybody tries to figure out kind of the pecking order in college football, you might know that like Clemson struggled to beat Georgia Tech today, and Alabama had a hard time in Florida. I was just wondering what that tells you kind of about, maybe the state of college football this year, and maybe how it affects you guys.
Yeah, I hadn't seen many scores. I was asking on the way over here, who won the Penn State-Auburn game. I didn't know, and it's weird to me. It's a weird year because not necessarily the Clemson score or the Alabama, because playing at Florida is a tough place to play, but it's just different. It's a different feel to it because there's so many teams that I know are talented, and I'm not talking about those teams, but they lose to somebody that's like, man, they have no business losing to them, or upsets seem to be more prevalent, and we're not immune to that. So we're trying to heighten our awareness to this standard. Like, hey, can we play to this standard all the time, or are we going to go out there and be flat and not play to our standard? And it's hard when you're dealing with 18, 19, 21 years old, because they get told all these things, and they start reading and believing it. And I'm warning our guys all night, hey, look, you played well tonight, but let's be honest. We're on this trajectory, and we're trying to climb this thing, and on this flight, we're trying to take off. We're like wheels up. We're getting there. We're not at the highest altitude yet. And so what can we do to avoid that? But I see it every week in college football, and we try to bring it to our guys' attention.
Hey, Kirby, kind of following up on the defensive line and the pass rush. I mean, especially at home when it's a third down or a crucial situation, and you're able to bring that pass rush and that pressure. How valuable is that unit at those moments? And then also, I know that you're not the type of guy who's going to say they've done everything perfectly. So how can the pass rush kind of improve here? Like, what do you feel like that next step is?
I don't know. I have to watch this tape and see. I do think that our guys are great get-off guys. I think people are going to scheme us up a little bit. They're going to protect first. They're going to chip us. They're going to seven-man protect. And they seven-man protect, it's hard to beat it. So we got to have some answers. Some of our sacks have been coverage sacks, but tonight they had a nice plan. They got the ball out quick. They made it simple for the quarterback, and they beat us one-on-one some. So when you lose one-on-one, you can lose some third downs. We win a couple of those third downs, it's a worse situation for them. They were able to extend drives and able to do it. But, I don't know how we improve it, but I can assure you this, our coaching staff will never rest. When you're ripe, you're rot. When you're ripe, you rot. And when you're green, you grow. And by God, we're going to stay green because we're going to keep growing and getting better.
Okay, we got time for a couple more. Let's go Mike Griffith and then Palmer Toms.
Yeah, Kirby, you mentioned a couple of the shots they took. I guess I would just ask you about those plays. You say sometimes those just happen, or there's some teaching or correctable things for Amir on a couple of those deep balls.
Well, not just Amir. It was several guys, right? DK got one. He went up and got one over the top of him. Kamari got one. They hit an over route on Lewis. I think it came back and ended up being incomplete, but they had him, and they ran through a double once. So it was not just Amir. It was several guys, and, Josh Fan had a good night for them. And, hey, we're going to face guys like him every week. So you got to play with great technique, and I don't care what your pass rush is. It's not getting there before that ball's out. That ball's caught, catch, throw. So, we can't protect guys all game. We got to play one-on-one. If you want to be a good defense, you better be able to play man-to-man. It's one of the number one qualities. And right now, we had some shots tonight that guys got on top of us. So we have to improve, and we got to grow and develop some younger players.
Kirby, y'all were 8 of 12 on third down tonight. JT was talking about how impressed he was. What were your takeaways on that?
impressive. That one drive, I don't know if it was 3 or 4 third downs, man, but our offensive line picked things up. Kenny McIntosh stepped up and hit a guy right between the eyes on a blitz. They went soft zone. They went max blitz. They did it all, and we converted on each one. So when you're efficient on third down, man, you're hard to beat. You are hard to beat when it's so frustrating for a defense to get to 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 4, and you keep converting, and then you end up hitting an explosive. So I was proud of the ability to function and convert by our offense, which takes more than a throw and a catch. It's a lot of protection in there.
Thank you, Coach Mart.
Thank you, guys.
And stay on